A History of Still Water Speaking, Part 1. By Luka Tomasdottir, Vigil Scribe. May our words never be broken. May our voices be our own. I first heard these words uttered by a traveling kodan outside Rim Moraine, deep in the heart of Frostgorge. He was a stranger to that place, clearly uncomfortable with the ways of the kodan that called the place home. Aiding Thunder was his name, and hailed from a place I had only heard of in stories and legends. Drakkar Lake. Well, that's not entirely accurate. He didn't introduce himself as Aiding Thunder. His exact words were, "Aiding Thunder of Still Water Speaking." Still Water Speaking. I had never heard of such a sanctuary. I told him. He clarified that it was not the name of a sanctuary, though his people had indeed come from one far in the north. A sanctuary with no name he remembered, no records written, and an oral history lost to time. The kodan seemed wistful, a flicker of light in his eyes that quietly gave way to a deep sense of foreboding. Loss is a troublesome concept among kodan society. There are a great many things that once were, but no longer. A great many things that once put the kodan above all, but, well, not anymore. I inquired further, but Aiding Thunder seemed nervous about my interest. He was particularly averse to my question about where exactly his home was, as if simply revealing its location on a map might immediately turn it into a premier tourist destination. I assured him my interests were purely academic, and several hours of gently coaxing seemed to ease the kodan's troubled mind. The settlement that would one day become Still Water Speaking began as a kodan sanctuary long ago, one of their many ice cities floating atop the bone-chilling waters north of the Farshire Peaks. These ancient cities had held since the previous Elder Dragon Awakening, what the kodan referred to as the Dragon Storm. At the time, they believed the massive floating land masses to be a gift from Koda, recompense for their suffering as the rest of the world was purged by the Elder Dragons. These cities stood for thousands of years, impervious to the elements. But sadly, not from Jormak. The rising seas and terrifying creatures destroyed the sanctuaries, driving the kodan south. A group of kodan from one of these sanctuaries gathered on a ship built from timber, a rarity that far north, and turned their gaze southward. They would follow the maps of their greatest explorers and seek shelter in the mountains. But the maps had not accounted for Jormak's awakening. Rivers turned to lakes, mountains to valleys, and the kodan found themselves shipwrecked deep in the Farshire Peaks, their ship locked in the ice and snow. They had stumbled in Drakkar Lake, and the lake was whispering.